Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studio in Atlanta, Georgia. It's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by Kennesaw State University's Executive MBA program. The accelerated degree program for working professionals looking to advance their career and enhance their leadership skills. And now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Atlanta Business Radio, and this is going to be a good one. But before we get started, it's important to recognize our sponsor, KSU's Executive MBA program. Without them, we couldn't be sharing these important stories. Today on Atlanta Business Radio, we have Pete Joseph with Skutch Media. Welcome.
Hi, Lee. Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us about your firm.
So Skutch is a small boutique full-service media agency with a specialty in podcast creation and production.
What's the backstory? How'd you get involved in this line of work?
It's odd. So we come from, there's two partners. It's my wife and I. Both of us have over 50 years of marketing experience. Myself, I come from the land of kind of entertainment background, partnerships, sponsorships, artist relations, some activation agency in my background as well. My wife comes from kind of the exact opposite in the sense of a media background, strategy. She's worked for some, of the big holding companies out there, Publicis. She was with Publicis for many years. So we have a lot of media and kind of that sponsorship background is where we started the company with. But the idea of where Skutch kind of came from, we just didn't want to be like any other agency, just kind of have your media, we can place it for you. Nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to look at something a little different. So we came up with this idea of creating content engines is kind of what I like to call them. A lot of people might say podcasts or pod shows and different types of things because they don't really know what to call things anymore. Everybody kind of labels things a podcast in a sense. But I think where Skutch kind of took the change was we had this kind of personal love of doing kind of shows, kind of a podcast-esque shows. So we decided to turn those kind of client-facing to where we said, hey, what if we were able to give clients the ability to shoot their own podcasts, but then again, utilize those podcasts to cultivate them into now your short-form content to feed your social content platforms. So that's really where Skutch kind of got its start. It was looking at it from not just being that agency that can take care of your media for you, but also being that agency that can create that media for you too. So it's became a mom and pop one-stop shop.
And then what's the profile of an ideal client for you?
For us, it's honestly anything. We're pretty open. We do very, very well in the medical field just because it was kind of one of our first forays into what we do. But we've been doing a lot. We've been seeing a lot of, we just kind of had our first work on some pre-production with a couple of professional athletes for some ideas that they're working on. So that's a whole new foray into this, which I was very, very excited about. I didn't really quite see that going. So we're seeing everything from the business owner that's coming in with, so much as kind of, I have my business, whatever that business might be, I need to figure out a way to market it. Also from the creator as well, the independent creator that's coming to us and saying, I have an idea. So our marketing, our client could be basically if you have an idea or you have a business you need to market.
So if what's an example of a medical professional? Is it like somebody in plastic surgery, or is it just a general practitioner or doctor?
Funny you say that because plastic surgeon would be perfect for what we do. But our foray into this was we did a thing with our first client is Easewell Chiropractic, and it's a chain of chiropractic kind of in our area that was just looking for a way to spice up their content and their social. Their social was getting kind of, stuck in trends, stuck in some different stuff. And what we came up with was, let's create a pod show for you, video podcast, that we can bring in specialists so we can become a medical resource. And so what we did was we started that over a year ago. He's been going strong with that. They just finished their first season. They've had on everything from hormone experts to other chiropractors to personal injury attorneys to physical therapists. So it's become this awesome hub. What we're seeing from his clients and all the people that come in that now follow him on his socials are, wow, this is so different. I've never had somebody kind of offer this with their service as well.
Now, I have a question about kind of the nuts and the bolts of this. So they're a chiropractor. That's their day job. They're also now stars of a show.
Yeah.
Right. That's their side hustle, I guess, or is their investment in marketing.
Yeah.
How do you help them kind of take the content and then leverage it so it helps them achieve the outcome they desire, which I would imagine it's either there's a couple of choices. They either want to be famous or they want more clients or both.
Well, it's kind of comical you say that, because that's what we had the biggest problem with in the beginning when I brought this. Because when we first started working with Easewell, Dr. Mayor Cara, that is the owner of Easewell, I brought this idea to him and I said, hey, listen, Mayor, like, I think this would work. He's like, man, I'm not a movie star. I've never done it. I've never been on camera before. And I'm like, please trust me. Like, I think I can coach you through this and get you into it. Just if you believe in me and believe in the process and believe in, the power of some good editing and some great film work, we can make a really good series for you. And in the beginning, it was a little harder, but we knew going into that it would be. So what we saw with him was he kind of came in, it was very at the beginning, a lot of question and answer type stuff, things that were easier for him before we just dropped him into having to interview people. And what we noticed was by, episode 3 or 4, he kind of just felt, he just like, hey, man, it's just like having a conversation. You forget everything's there. I'm like, exactly. There it is. And what has become with him was he's noticed, man, that the client retention's wonderful because it gives them something more than when they just leave my office. Like they got their adjustment, they got their massage in, they maybe a little stem therapy, and then they leave. But now it gives them a reason to kind of, for us to touch them after they leave, a little bit more therapy for them to think about. So yeah, it's wonderful. So it was helping them to retain clients, but also what he's starting to see now, it's the calls coming in from people saying, hey, how do I potentially sponsor your podcast? Or how do I get involved in your podcast? And it's like, now he's coming to us with questions like, do you think we could do a line of things? Like, could we promote it through this? Like, it's really opened up him in the sense of, I think, how he looks at what he can be. Like, I don't think he ever saw himself in the way of like, as being, in the sense promoting his own show and having his own show. And what makes this easy for you is that all you have to do is show up and film. Show up and film and listen to us. If you have a marketing budget and it's something that you can do, we can handle every bit of it for you. All you have to do, we can coach you through it. We can film it. We can edit it. We can batch it. We can put it to your social medias. We can do the SEO for it. Everything that needs to be done. That's where it becomes side hustle is a little bit of an understatement because you really just have to show up and put it all in our hands.
Now, being in the industry for as long as you have, are you seeing maybe a transition? There was a time where, being a technology company was kind of an outlier. Only a few people were technology people, and now every business is a technology company and is leveraging technology. Do you think the same thing is happening with content, that everybody now is a media company, whether they want to or not, because they have to put out content that's authentic, that's, professional, that is consistent. So in essence, you're having to also wear a hat of a media company as well.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, just off of social medias alone, how do you not have to market in a sense, right? That's this overall arching term, correct? Like, how do you not have to market if you own any type of business and use those platforms? So everybody has to, and that's kind of how we built Skutch too. And our initial thoughts was it's kind of your marketing agency. Like, you don't have to carry a marketing staff. You don't have to worry about, how, man, I have to bring 3 or 4 people on and now do this and handle this stuff and blah, 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 blah. If we open up tomorrow, who's going to do our buying? Who's going to do this? Skutch kind of at the beginning was a lot of that. Like, hey, we can just kind of come in, you can plug us in, which is what a lot of agencies are. And then that's when we noticed they need content too. Like they can't, what are you going to place? What are you going to do for them? Like you can't just, or it's farming it out to 6 other places. And that's where, yeah, we made it easy for them to say, you don't have to worry about anything. Like we can capture it for you. We can create it for you. We can ideate it for you. And we'll do all the other stuff that full service marketing agency do. So yes, to your question, yes, you have to wear many hats. My goal was to be the hat rack for one of those hats. So you could just kind of, basically pay us to take that hat off your hands.
Now, walk me through what an engagement looks like, because like you said, these people aren't professional media people typically, unless maybe you're evolving into some of your clients being that and they just want to get better at it. But if you're a lay person and you're like, like your friend, the chiropractor, he's a chiropractor. That's what I do. And now you're saying, okay, part of my value that I'm going to provide is I'm going to upskill you into being a professional content creator, and we'll ease you in over time. So can you talk about what it looks like to onboard? Because I would imagine you're answering a lot of questions and allaying a lot of fears in those first conversations.
I'd say it's more fear and apprehensive being apprehensive. They come, it's really a trust thing. Usually what we like to do is the first episode we try to do with anybody. One, there's usually pre-production built into it. Like, what's your idea? What do you want to do? Do you have a vision? So they know who we are before any of this happens. We've worked for a couple weeks together on their idea, their concept. We also have to build their graphics and stuff for the show. So they're intimately known. So they've already got they're excited, right? But it's more always about, what am I going to look like? How do I sound? A big one's always sound. Everybody's always worried about, I don't want to hear myself. The oddest thing, it's so funny, getting headphones on people is the most bizarre. Like they just, no, I don't need those. No, it's not, you trust me. And then the minute they put them on, they hear themselves. It's the transformation's completely different. So I think it's easing them in to just being in front of the lights, being in front of the cameras, letting them know that it's okay to mess up. Like you can mess up. Like we can edit this. Like we can work with this. It's a show, right? It's okay. This isn't live, and it's small. It's very, very intimate. It's myself, my wife, the person, the guest. It's calming. It's a very calm, relaxing environment. There's nothing, like I said, there's no time. We don't put time constraints on stuff. And a lot of it, they're going into it. They know if we're helping them do the show, and we work through their questions with them early. And then it's a lot of coaching. I was a child actor. I was a SAG actor when I was a kid. So I did a lot of acting myself. So it's just, like I said, it's a lot of it's getting them to, get out of, if it's an interview, try to get out of them the interview, like what they're trying to get out of that person. Don't make it just about their Wikipedia page, try to make it go a little bit in depth. And it's a lot of training, but number one, first and foremost, it's just the way I think we're able to make people feel super comfortable, because they're not walking into an intimidating situation.
So what is the pain that ideal client is having before they contact you? Are they frustrated with their social media or their marketing? Is their growth kind of stalled? Like, what is it they're going through where Skutch is the answer to their prayers?
What we're seeing is a lot of people coming and it's two people. I've had this idea for a podcast and I don't know where to start. Or some type of content show, or I have one and I want to level up. I need multiple angle camera shots. I need better sound. My sound doesn't sound right because I'm going through my computer sound over Riverside. It's a business that they just kind of really want the social media. So that's kind of that's really the people that we're seeing a lot of. But yeah, that's kind of where that's what we're seeing. That's our ideal for that.
So, what do you need more of? How can we help you?
What do we need more of? Well, it's always more and more clients. We can always do more, and I think it's for us. We like to be small to make sure we can put as much hands-on that we can with our clients. We don't want to be overburdened to the sense where we lose that personal touch. We pride ourselves on incredible content. We always say that when we shoot, what we shoot is just the first part. The real magic is what we do with after your content is done, is shot. So it's our batching, it's our social, it's our SEO work. It really is, that's where we can make you shine. So for us, it's, hey, if you have a unique idea out there and you just don't know how to really take it to that next level, and you want to work with people that kind of understand and are understanding of how this works and that you are new to it, or you're a business leading, let us know.
So if somebody wants to learn more, have a more substantive conversation with you or somebody on the team, what's the website? What's the best way to connect?
You can just reach out to us at skutchmedia.com. Just go in there, fill out the this little question and answer form, fill that out, go from there, and we'll just get back to you, and we'll kind of come in, have a little kind of a quick meeting, kind of see what your thoughts are, and put together something on paper for you. But it's a real simple process. We're super open to talk to anybody.
And that's skutchmedia.com.
That's it.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Lee. Let us know anytime you want us on.
All right. This is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Atlanta Business Radio.